Hello, this is Too Stubborn to Quit, a podcast made for women who aren't slowing down, staying quiet, or fading into the background. We're here for the bold, the curious, and the women who know that their best chapters are still ahead of them. So get your coffee or your car keys because we're getting ready to hit the road and you get to come along for the ride. Let's go! Hello and welcome to a special Halloween edition of Too Stubborn to Quit, where we're going to trade road trips for ghost tours and dive right into all the spooky stories that still make us sleep with one eye open or at least with the nightlight on. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hi, Linda. How are you doing? Are you scared?
Good, Pam.
Are you scared yet?
No, no, I think I'm good for now.
Well, not all stories that scare us start with ghosts. Some start with technology. You want to tell us about what just happened? I think it's the spooks. I think it's the scary, scary ghosties that have gotten into your system. I think that's what because it's Halloween.
No, I just think it's me and learning this tech stuff just isn't my forte sometimes.
Well, thing
Anyhow,
that's
no,
things that
it's all
scare us
good.
all. At our age, tech does scare us a little bit, right? Yeah, it
Well,
can.
yeah, I've been fighting with it for the last week, so yeah,
Well, let me tell you what I
yeah,
did yesterday with. Do
it's,
you want to hear what I did yesterday with tech? I blew up an entire
go
room.
ahead.
I blew up a whole
You,
room.
you
I
what? What
unplugged the
did you
computer.
do?
I unplugged the computer in the middle of
And how did that blow up the room?
a presentation, and it killed
Oh.
everything. And we couldn't get it rebooted, and there were 50 people sitting there trying to watch the PowerPoint.
So
Oops. That's what I said. Oops.
that was a big oops. That's a big
Eh,
ooping.
oh well. So
Dang,
they
girl.
they got to hear the PowerPoint without seeing it. Still did it.
Without the power. You got the PowerPoint without the power.
Just the point. They just got the point. I told them that they were welcome, that they should thank me for this because, I did it all for them. Anyway, it is Halloween Eve, and that means that there are spooky things. I had trick or treat last night with scary little kids. Okay, there were only five of them, and they all belonged to me, so they weren't that scary. So, you know, but
So what did everybody dress up as this week?
well,
What did everybody dress up as?
Jackson was probably by far the cutest. He dressed up like Harry Potter, and man, he nailed it. He looked awesome. Patrick was a Power Ranger. Rosie was the Joker, and she looked pretty dead on too. Seriously, no pun intended. Um, Evelyn was Harley Quinn from Batman. And then there was Benjamin, who was a bat. He was a bat.
A bat.
A bat.
Okay. That's
Yep,
pretty cool.
bat. Yeah, they had a good time. And then I don't know if you remember my neighbor Mark Morningstar. Do you remember Mark?
I
Anyway,
do.
Mark's
Yes.
my neighbor, and his youngest son, well, his only son, his youngest child, Jacob, and his wife Victoria just had a little girl a couple months ago, and she was dressed up like a pumpkin. Pretty darn cute. Pretty darn cute. It was. And then we went up the hill to see a friend of mine, Jay. Well, you might remember Jay Shock too. Jay Shock's plays, he goes all out for Halloween, and last night he had a ghost train. That was awesome.
What is a ghost train?
It was
What
a
is a ghost
it,
train?
it was a train that was a ghost. So all that you saw was the light busting through the gates, and then it was knocking stuff down on the way through. Of course, there was nothing there it's just the things that were being knocked. It was awesome. It was pretty darn cool.
That's pretty cool.
It
That's
was.
cool.
It was. And so yeah, it's been a Halloween kind of week. Yep, from me breaking things to, the ghost train. Yeah, it's been kind of cool. Which made me start thinking. So tonight I was cleaning up the bedroom because my cousin is coming tomorrow. I got to make sure this thing's recording. Hold on. Yeah, it is. Okay. Anyway,
It is. You're
my
good.
cousin's coming to visit tomorrow. And so I was up here cleaning up the bedroom, and of course, then I started hearing all these creepy things. And then I found this
this old pass for a band show from like 20 years ago in the middle of my bed. It's like, no, where in the hell did that come
In the
from?
middle of your bed. You have
Yeah.
it.
Like, why? Why? And where did it come from? I thought they were all gone. And so I said to John, did you put this in the middle of my bed for some reason? And he's like, well, no, I haven't seen one of those in a long time. It's like, well, then where did it come from? So anyway, that's what made me start thinking about ghost stories. So, because, we all know my house is haunted. It's been haunted for years. But
Yeah, I would kind of go with that logic. It's
yeah, see?
definitely the upstairs. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
the upstairs. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, I would go
Well,
with that. Yes.
see, you've been in this house before. You know that it's a little
It's been
creepy.
a long time, but yeah, you got the vibe there. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is
Well,
for sure.
but I am
So tell
upstairs.
me, have you ever been to, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Have I
We're both
ever?
trying to talk at the same time.
I know, go ahead.
Well, have you ever been to a spooky, what do they call it, haunted houses?
Well,
For real. Have you ever been to a haunted house? One of the ones, that
I
they
don't,
do.
yeah, I don't
You
like the
pay to get in.
I don't like the fake haunted houses. They bother me. The last one I was at, I don't know do you remember Tiffany Eisenberg? Okay, you probably do. Cliff's daughter.
I do.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Tiff had just come back from Iraq, and we
Yep.
were we were in a haunted house at Wildwood because we were all down there for band stuff, and we were in a haunted house from Wildwood. She'd been back from Iraq for exactly 2 weeks, and this guy comes out dressed like a zombie and came up behind her, and she decked him, and he laid him out flat on the ground. Like, shouldn't sneak up on a soldier with PTSD.
I could see that one coming down the pike. Yep,
Yeah,
I could definitely
yeah,
see that one hot coming.
it's bad
Probably
news.
think twice before he comes up behind somebody again.
Exactly. Yeah, we thought she hurt him really bad.
Yeah,
He wasn't bleeding or nothing, so yeah, it's all right. Anyway, our
conscious,
podcast,
just unconscious for a half an hour.
well, he was like, dude, what the hell? It's like we all had to grab Tiff and pull her off of him. It's like, oops.
Well, you know what? I think some of those people take too much pleasure in freaking people out.
Agreed.
So every now and then they need to get cold cocked and knocked into their place so that they realize that not everybody likes that kind of shit. It's just no.
He definitely did. It was kind of,
Yeah, I'm all,
I
yep,
sort of felt
yep,
bad
knock them
for him.
into tomorrow. Yep, nope, yep, knock them into next Tuesday. You're good.
Yep, and that's what she did. She just came right around him. Boom, right up. Yeah, it was bad. Like I said, you shouldn't sneak up on a soldier with PTSD. It's bad. So these are all kind of the fun sides of fear, right?
I agree.
They sort of talk to us like we're, when you're old, you should slow down and not do this wacky, wild shit, right? Well, I don't know about you, but I just went on a haunted tour of a real haunted house not more than 3 weeks ago. I was in Gettysburg.
Well, tell us about it.
Yeah,
Enlighten.
I was in Gettysburg at the Jenny Wade house. Now, I went in there not expecting to see anything ever because, whatever,
Who's Jenny Wade?
Oh, well, let me tell you. Jenny Wade was the first civilian killed at Gettysburg during the Gettysburg Battle over July
Oh,
2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 1863. Yeah. So in fact, she was the only civilian killed during the battle. So she was standing in her mother's kitchen, minding her own business, and a stray bullet came through the door and hit her and killed her dead. Boom. Cool.
hmm.
Anyway, they say Jenny still is there. Now, I didn't see anything of Jenny, but so they take you all through the downstairs and they show you where she was killed and they show you where she was sleeping and this and that and the other thing. Then they take you upstairs and it's creepy and creaky and the steps are like, this big and they show you all the spooky, spooky rooms, which I didn't really find spooky. I took a lot of pictures, saw no orbs. All right. Then they take you down it's a double house. So they take you through the wall that a mortar had actually blown open. So a mortar came into the house right after she got killed, busted open this stone wall in the second floor, big hole. So you walk through the hole, and then you go back down the other side steps of the other side of the house. All right. Then you leave that portion of the house and you go to the basement, which unnerved me a little bit. All right. We're down there, they're telling ghost stories, whatever. I'm taking pictures because that's what I do. They took us to the basement and they were talking about Jenny Wade's dad who lived there too. And then they turned off all the lights. Well, the first picture I took, there was a woman that had her flash on her cell phone, and so it wasn't dark. Second one was another woman farther over to the left who also had her cell phone on. Third picture that I finally got to take, I took it against the brick wall, which was just off to the right side of me. And the spookiest, creepiest thing that showed up, there was the silhouette. It's pitch dark, okay? It is black. You couldn't see the person next to you. I took this picture and it showed up all red, like crimson red, with the silhouette of a man with a hat on. And it's like, now sometimes I really truly believe you see what you want to see. But that was creepy because she had just said that that's sometimes how he shows up. So I showed the tour guide and she says, "Oh my God, we've never gotten one that was red." Oh, okay. Cool. All right, so we go out into the parking
What's the
lot.
red mean?
Who knows? No clue. No idea. She said she'd gotten them blue before, but this one was red. So whatever. I'm special. Whatever. I sent it to her. She's going to use it now. All right. So then we go out into the parking lot next to where the tour group meets, right? And it's butted right up against the battlefield. And of course, you're not allowed on the battlefield after dark. Well, it's 10 o'clock at night. It is dark. It's very
Probably dark.
And there were no lights. There's no lights in the battlefield, right? So I'm taking pictures of the battlefield just to see what I could get. Well, I got nothing until the last shot, at which point, and I'm standing next to this stranger. I don't know who this guy is. Standing next to him. And I caught something out of the corner of my eye running through the field. And I looked at him and I said, "Did you see that?" And he says, "I didn't see anything." I said, "Well, I just saw something running in there," thinking possibly it was a rabbit. Okay. And he says, "Well, that's where you see them, out of the corner of your eye." And I said, "See what?" And he says, "Ghosts." I was like, "Nah." So get back and I started looking at the pictures on my phone. And right after I had seen what I thought I saw, top right-hand corner of the picture is this orb that kind of goes. It's cool.
Really?
It's cool as hell. Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was. It
You
was.
caught somebody's spirit.
I think I might have. But then a bit later, so we were camping, all right? We were camping. And
Did it snuggle up with you?
no, no, but this is cooler. This is a lot cooler. So we're sitting outside under the awning, watching the fire. Somebody else is watching football on their phone. It's my cousin Charlie and John and I and the two dogs, and we're sitting out there. And I'd been telling Charlie that the last time I was in Gettysburg camping, we heard gunfire. Well, now, we live in central Pennsylvania. That's not unusual, right?
Yeah.
Except that the gunfire was like a barrage. Like it had gone on. It went on for 5-10 minutes, right? The last time I was there. So I'd been telling him about this, and he's like, "I really want to experience that." Whatever. Well, we hadn't. So it's like about 9:45. We're sitting there under the awning, watching the fire, having a beer, whatever. And next thing I know, I heard a gunshot. Then I heard another one, and then another one, another one, and it just went on and on. And then there was these boom, boom. It sounded like fireworks. So, of course, I went to look to see where the fireworks were. There were no fireworks. Talked to the lady at the front desk the next day, the next morning. It's like, were there fireworks in the area last night? And she says, no, what did you hear? And I explained it, what I just said to you. And she looks at me and says, oh, honey, that was the battle. And I said, what battle? Was there a reenactment last night? She said, no, the battle. We hear it all the time. It's like, no, nuh-uh. So it happened twice to me, twice. And that's just cool as shit. Personal opinion.
I was going to say, I think that one's open for interpretation as far as how cool that is.
We'll ask the listeners.
It's cool in one aspect, but I got to tell you, if I was hearing it,
you'd have been inside.
I think
so. Yep. The funny part was the last time that I heard it, John didn't hear it at all. And I went inside and I said, come out here and listen to this. And he came out and he says, listen to what? And then all of a sudden he hears this kaboom, like a cannon shot, He goes, oh, I heard that. It's like, oh, yes, you did. Oh, yes, you did. So anyway, that's kind of a neat thing about Gettysburg. And, it didn't feel scary or nothing. It was just different.
You were just hearing history.
I was hearing history. That's right. I was hearing history. Yeah.
I think in today's society, people need to hear history.
Yeah.
Physically hear it and understand how we got where we are now so that we're not stupid enough to repeat it. Hey, that's just my own personal thought.
Much for me to say right now, and I can't. Yes, people do need to read their history books and, listen to.
I think that if people actually saw it up close and hear it,
yes.
I think life would be a whole lot different.
Yeah. So you said you went to Spooky Hollow up in Massachusetts?
So you remember the tale of Ichabod Crane?
I do. I guess it's not Massachusetts.
It's Hollow.
It's New York, isn't it? New York State?
It is. Yeah. It is. It is actually. I completely forgot about this. This happened, oh my God, probably 12, 13, maybe close to 15 years ago. Of course, you remember the fact that we haul animals, we transport people's animals. So we get the phone call to go to New York, Sleepy Hollow, and I don't make the connection. I'm like, being blonde. And now I'll get all these blonde people calling me.
Yes, you will.
Don't. Yeah, don't. Anyhow.
She was never blonde.
we get a client and she's like, come on up and I need my 7 cats picked up. And I got to tell you, honestly, I don't even remember where they went. It was this long ago, but I do remember that Jill and I, we actually did this together the first time. I've been to Sleepy Hollow twice, but the first time I was there, it is a real place, which is wild as shit. And there is a graveyard there. And when you go up along the road, it sits on the right-hand side, and it must be 5 miles long or more, but it borders the entire town of Sleepy Hollow. And we're there like right before Halloween the one year. And we go into this house. It's like built in 17 something.
Cool.
Yeah, it was actually. She's like, oh yeah, we had to have the contractors come in and put a bathroom in, and the kitchen was kind of like, when you walked in, you kind of went sideways, and when you go up the house, upstairs, she's like, the cats are all upstairs, and it was like, okay, great, it's catch the kitty through the whole upstairs of the house.
Nice.
And so anyhow, we get into this house, and it does feel kind of creepy, to be honest with you, when you're in there. Yeah, these older houses, they have that creep feel about them. But anyhow, we're up there, we're cracking jokes. And I'll tell you how old this house is. The floor was made of slat boards. And if you grew up in the country at all, you know what slat boards are. They literally are just hunks off of trees, slammed down, and they got the grooves and stuff. And we're cracking jokes upstairs and not realizing that right under our feet, we look down and she's downstairs so she can hear us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
It's right up there with pulling the plug out of the
Way to be
computer.
mature.
Good stuff.
Way to be so mature, but that's okay. Yeah, we're just cracking jokes as we're trying to catch these seven cats, And yeah, so it was really wild. Like you don't realize that these legends and these tales, there's actually something to these.
Yes, there is.
What's the old dude that fell asleep for like 1,000 years?
It,
Or he fell asleep for like 100 years. Do you remember the
Rip,
tale of that
Rip,
guy?
Rip Van Winkle?
Um,
Rip Van Winkle.
Rick Van Winkle. Okay, so there's a bridge. Yes, there's a bridge in New York. I think it's in New York too. That is named that. This is where he slept. And I've gone through that a number of times, and I'm looking at that going, shit, it's real. And it's just really, really bizarre when you run into these places. Um, Another place is Robin Hood, King of Thieves,
Yeah,
Sherwood Forest.
Sherwood
Um,
Forest.
that is in England.
Hmm.
I've been there.
That's
I've been
cool.
there. Wild as shit.
Did you see
Really
Robin
cool.
Hood?
We didn't see Robin, obviously, and but the just the woods itself was really, like I said, they call it like enchanted or whatever. And
Yeah, Enchanted
when you're
Forest.
walking through it, yeah, I have a picture of the tree of one of the big trees, that they're like all hanging out on, but they have it all propped up now these days, so you can't actually get near it or on it. But it's massive. It's so big, and it's really cool. When you realize that these places, when people are telling these tales, there's a reason. Now,
Uh-huh.
I can't imagine at Sleepy Hollow they physically had somebody trolling around the graveyard with no head.
How do you know?
Well, that's I gotta tell you
Uh-huh.
honestly, as we're driving along, it's like I'm really glad I'm here during the day, because if I'd had to do this shit at night, this is a no-go for me. I'm out.
You say
Happy.
that. You say that. We went to Salem a couple years back, a bunch of years. That's probably been 10. Rosie was just little and we had her along. And so we're at Salem, Massachusetts, of course, where they had the witch trials. And we, like idiots, the group of us, with our little 1-year-old, we decided we'd take a ghost tour, a haunted walking tour of Salem. Okay.
I bet that was fun.
Well, it was different. Those poor women, seriously, like you said, people should read their history a bit more. Naturally, none of those women were truly witches, but the people who killed them were assholes. I mean, it's just that simple. But nevertheless, it was kind of creepy. And the only one funny thing, so, I'm all in. Oh, yeah, it's a good ghost story. Let's go do that. Everybody that's with me, oh, yeah, let's go do that. The only one that didn't want to do it was John, because he so doesn't believe in any of that sort of stuff. Who was the one person that got spooked? John. I think they attached themselves to him. Like, hey, honey.
No kidding. They say
That's
that's
what,
a possibility.
yes, they
They
do.
find that weak soul. Yep. Yep. They
Yep.
find that weak soul when they attach themselves to it.
Well, he decided he didn't like any of those dark forces, and so he wouldn't even go in the buildings. It was kind of an interesting thing, but yeah, it was kind of a cool thing. And then there was one, oh, I remember what else I wanted to tell you. You remember the old store, 516 Washington, right? And it used to be Westbrook Shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was there one
Yeah.
night. One night it was like, I don't know, 8:30 or something. I was there all by myself getting ready to close up the store for whatever reason I was there late. Who the hell knows? But I'm sitting in the back room trying to do the bookkeeping for the day or whatever. And you remember that windsock spinner I had out front?
Yeah.
And it had the
Yeah.
little tiny wind chimes on it and the little tiny wind socks.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I hear the damn thing spinning like there was somebody out there because it took some force to make it spin. Well, I thought somebody came in, so I walked out and went, "Hello." And there's nobody there except for the windsock spinner just whee, and the chimes are like sticking out and flipping around. I went back, turned off the lights, and left because I was like, Mr. Westbrook, I'm glad you're here. Watch over the place because I'm out, man. I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Tapping.
We out of here, baby. So yeah, it was kind of creepy. That I am convinced that the man was there till the day it burned down. I am convinced.
I'm convinced that Huntington in general is haunted.
Oh, I agree. I
I
agree.
don't know why I feel that way, but sitting, 300 miles away now, I can safely say that.
Well, it's funny thing that you said my son Mike wrote a book called Last Train, not The Last Train, just Last Train, and it's about haunted Huntington ultimately. It's kind of creepy. You can't listen to trains without thinking of that book anymore. At least I can't. You got to read it. So it's called Last Train. You can get it on Amazon. Cheap plug. Anyway,
I was going to say, just jam that right in you. That was a good plug. Good deal.
so now that we're old, what things scare us now, Linda? Do ghosts still scare us? It did tonight because I don't know where that thing came from in the middle of my bed. But yeah, I mean,
That's weird.
honestly, it's like bring it, baby. Well, don't bring it right now. I'm sitting upstairs and that freaks me out. But do we still get scared of all the same things that we used to get scared of?
I don't think so. I think we get scared of different things now.
Like technology.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been wallowing that all week. I finally
Yeah.
got half of it fixed.
Well, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah,
But
got half of it fixed. But yeah, it's when you have to do something that you've never done before, and you don't. And here's the thing: is you have a choice. And people say, I don't have a choice. You do have a choice. You have a choice of whether you're going to dig in and learn to do it, because not doing it means giving up the very thing that got you where you are now.
that's
And
true.
it's a steady downward spiral at that point. So you either, if you want to continue going where you're going, then you have to adapt. You don't have a choice,
All true.
you know? And if you say, well, I'm just screw it, let me keep that one about as clean as I can. Um, I'm
Eh,
not going to do this. Well, then there's an actual, there's a yin and yang to everything. So the yin is, yeah, you learn to do it and you fix it and you do what you got to do to move ahead. The yang is you say screw it and then you deal with the consequences afterwards, which is usually never a good thing. That's my take on life, but hey, whatever.
Often it's not good. Correct. It's good to have a little bit of planning from time to time.
It
And
it
like you
is.
say, when you get to be our age, there's nobody to fall back on, right? You gotta do it yourself. You really have to do it yourself.
Nobody to get you out of bed, kick you up, and yeah, there's nobody to get you up and say, you got to go do this. And if you're to kick my ass out of bed in the morning and say, you got to fix the emails, you got to fix the website, you got to fix, nobody to tell you that. It's either I get my ass up and go do it, or it doesn't get done. And if it doesn't get done, then we're out of business. Pretty damn simple.
There you go. So that's a real life fear that you have to turn into determination. So fear can be reversed. It can be turned into determination. It can be turned into excitement. That's all the more fear is. It's just misdirected excitement. It's my philosophy for the night, baby.
Whose ass are you
Misdirected.
blowing that smoke up?
I don't know. Writer.
That was pretty good. I like that.
Thanks. Thanks. You guys can use that all week. Yeah, it's good.
That was
Anyway,
good.
so yeah, so I don't know. I think that some of the fear things actually creates the adventure, if it's
Yeah.
if it doesn't scare the hell out of you, it's not hard enough. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
God.
Well,
Did you just tattoo that somewhere? That wasn't.
I mean,
If it's not like,
seriously.
really?
Well, I understand where you're coming from. I do. But if you think about it this way, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it.
Everybody would be doing
Everybody.
it. That is true. That
And
is true.
so that's what sets you apart is doing the hard stuff. You do the hard stuff, the stuff that scares the hell out of you for a little bit until you figure it out, at which point then it no longer scares the hell out of you. So it's kind
Yeah.
of fear can be used. Fear can be used in a positive way. It pushes
Most of the
you.
time.
It pushes you. It like you said, it makes you get your ass out of bed in the morning because you have
Yeah.
to. Because you
Because
got
you have
bills
to.
to pay. You have bills
Yep.
to pay. And it terrifies, I don't know about you, but it terrifies the hell out of me if I can't figure out how to pay my bills. That's one of my biggest fears. It's not ghosts, even though it sounded like that a little bit ago. But, it scares me. I mean, so you take that fear and you turn it into something prosperous. You turn it into
Mm,
something
you do.
that's good for you.
Usable.
And yeah,
Yeah.
something usable. Exactly.
Yep.
So, it's a good thing. Fear is good. And tonight, fear was fun. So
Yeah,
that was
I'll
kind of
tell you.
fun.
I'll tell you. Yeah, you know what? Jill and I were talking about something today, because I was thinking about tonight. And and I'll tell you what my major fear is. And I've seen it up close and personal. I mean, like in my face. A couple of years ago, you don't drive close to 2 million miles in your life and not see things. Um, Even about other people. Like if you miss that, then you're missing life.
Yeah.
Period.
Agreed.
And we were down in Arizona, okay? And a tow truck came in. We were at one of the truck stops in Phoenix, and on the back of a tow truck was a minivan, a red minivan, and it was pretty broken down. It had a cracked windshield. It was pretty rough looking. And out pops what appears to be about a 70-year-old woman.
Oh,
And I'm going to tell you this story because eventually I'd like you and I to dig into something about this. There's something that I've carried with me for years about this. And now that we have this platform, I'd like to take and go with this somewhere. But Joe and I were watching this poor woman get out. And when I tell you that the tow truck dumped her van there in the parking lot, he didn't even put it into a parking spot. He just dumped it. This woman was close to 70 years old. Jill had the pleasure of actually speaking with this woman. And she was in tears, and Jill happened to come up behind her and started talking to her. And this woman was living in her van and had been for quite some time. So this is my fear. This is my fear, okay, of being, you know, in my senior years. And that's where I end up. And the thing is we've seen so many women, older women, literally living on the street. And they're not drunks. They're not, they're not alcoholics or whatever you want to call them, or drug dealers, or they're not waste products. Most of these women now are women that had husbands, they had families, they had children, they had lives, they had careers. And when the husband died, her husband took care of all the bills. They're too young for Social Security. And so there's no money coming in. They're estranged from their kids for whatever reason, because this day and age, the kids are all about, my parents are toxic. I can't talk to them. And so there's a whole realm of people that are lost and just moved to the side. It's a fear. I mean, it is a genuine fear of, I think, a lot of women going into their 60s and even 70s and maybe later. There's nobody there for them. So anyhow, you talk about fear. That's
a good fear. That
it's
one's
huge.
legit. It's a legit. Um, you're saying all
Yeah.
that stuff, and I had some wisecracks to make, but you were being serious, so I can't do that. But I'm gonna, yeah, you were being
It's
serial. It is,
on
it's
that one I was
scary.
being serial, because that one broke my heart. We were in our 40s, we
Absolutely.
were mid 40s, so it's been a while since this happened. So, when you see a number of people in this predicament. It's like, what the hell? Jill was like, I'm sorry, I got to ask, how did you end up here?
Mm-hmm.
And it literally was her husband took care of everything.
Mm,
And when he died, she got a shoebox,
that's sad.
and she was too young for Social Security. The rent was, and everything went into probate. There was the other issue. Everything went into probate, and the lawyers locked the probate up until the money was gone. When the money was gone, they released the probate and cleared the account because there was no money left there to give her.
Well,
And
that
they
sucked.
literally kept it left. Yeah. See, there's shit like this going on that I think that
So
our forum,
there should be a lesson
we can
there.
tap into this. And so, yes, there you
Well,
go. Here lies
yeah, there lies
what we're
the
here for.
lesson. The lesson here is that you only have yourself. Love my husband. God bless him. He is the most patient man I know, but I am not going to allow myself to be that dependent on anyone ever. And so I guess there comes that point. Sounded like my mother there, didn't I? Yeah. Every now and again, I open my mouth and she jumps out.
You
There it
channel
was.
you channel
There
her.
she was. Maybe that's who put the thing on the
There she
bed.
was.
Anyway,
Yep. Yep.
anywho, but the point is that, we are all in this together. And of course, he is, like I said, John, my dear sweet husband, there's a dog hair up there, sorry, is the most patient individual I know. But I'm not going to let myself be dependent ever, and it's so bad. And I know that this is going to make people just roll their eyes, and I apologize, but we have a joint account that I don't look at. I just don't look at it. He's got an account and I've got an account. And then we have the business account.
Yeah.
Because when I want to go buy a new pair of sneakers for $175, I'm going to do it. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Without asking permission.
I don't want to ask permission. I will never ask permission. I work for a living. And so, yeah, if I want to go buy a new car, it's what I do. I will never, ever be put into that position. And if I am, my kids are going to have to pony up a room. And their mama is going to say, that's the way it needs to be. Put the girls together because I'm coming to live with you.
Yeah, there's a whole generation of women out there right now
You're right.
and I meet them all the time because I'm moving their animals.
And that's
And the
sad.
stories that I hear are just scared the shit out of me.
So how do you fix that?
I can't live like that.
How can you fix it?
I think, well, education.
Yeah, you've taught your daughter. I know you've taught your daughter to be independent. I'm teaching my granddaughters to be independent, but the 70-year-olds, the 80-year-olds, maybe they don't know how to be independent. Maybe they were so dependent for so long.
Right. I think that maybe what we look into, and I think maybe this is what we're here for. We're looking for a lane for our podcast, and we may have just stumbled into something. And I think, and even like this last week, I've had to sit down and literally power learn a lot of things. And when I say power learn, I literally mean that. I have Chat GPT is such a great resource.
Isn't it though?
I learned how to fight a big company on dragging my own domain name away from their ass and getting it someplace different because they were literally putting us out of business. And at the same time, I had to get on YouTube and power learn how to change a window in a van so that it only cost me $50 and not $500. And these are things that people, they need to know that there are resources at your fingertips. If you have a phone, you have resources, and you have got to learn, one, what question to ask. And if you don't know the question, And then that's where people get, I think that's where people get hung up. They don't know the question.
You're
And
right.
if you don't know the question, you don't ask. And if you don't ask the right thing these days, and if you don't ask the question, people nowadays used to be people would volunteer information. I find myself doing that. Okay. I
Mhm.
volunteer that hidden information. And I found Chat GPT. I'm working, trying to get some internet stuff down. And I'm like, I don't see that. And then I ask it a different question. And it said, yes, you just asked the right question. So this is an AI program, literally didn't give me the behind the scenes information. I had to ask for it. And it was only through power of deduction did I know to ask that question. But it wasn't going to give me the answer straight up. This is AI. People nowadays who have the whereabouts to go, hey, if you want to know this, you really need to know this also. They
And
don't do that
let me
anymore.
help you. Let me help you.
They
Yeah,
don't do
and
that anymore.
that doesn't
Yeah.
happen very much. No, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
You
You're
know,
right.
it's like, well, do you have 10 cents to give me? If you give me that, I'll give you that little hidden piece of knowledge you need to know. It's like, get your hand out of my fucking pocket.
Whoa!
Can you just help me? Sorry.
And there went the
You're gonna have to bleep that
explicit
one.
check. All right.
Sorry. But you know what I'm saying? Everybody's got their hand in your pocket because they want something. And it's like, can you just, maybe that's what we do for people, for women specifically, is that you have an issue. And, I'm not here to give people money. I'm going to tell you this right now. I'll never give you money because I just don't have it myself. And what I do have, it pays bills. But I told my brother this once in the Philippines. They had a habit of kept asking, hey, we can you see? And I was like, hey, let me tell you something. I said, I work 20 hours a damn day. I said, when I see everybody in your family doing the same thing, I said, you get back to me. I said, here's what I will teach you. I will teach you a skill. I will teach you something to teach that so that you can make money on your own. Instead of you asking me for $1 this week and $1 next week and $1 week after that. No, 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 no. I'm going to teach you how to use the internet, where to go to make your own resources. So if you need help out there, you need resources, you ring us. Get on our podcast and say, listen, I've got a bit of an issue here.
Hmm.
Tell us what that issue is.
Well,
Maybe we can wrangle some resources and either find the right answer, the right question that you need to be asking, or find that lane that you need to be looking into to get the answer you need.
do you know what I've found in people that are just a little bit older than us, and even some that are our age, is that
Mm-hmm.
they are afraid of technology.
Yeah,
The internet's evil.
it is.
AI is evil. All
Mm,
of this stuff is evil. Oh, you can't go to YouTube. It's nothing but a bunch of lies, blah, blah, blah. You
right.
gotta use the tools that are in front of you and that are given to you so that you
Yeah,
can do better for yourself.
that's
You
right.
you have to use the tools that are there.
If your house was broken, you had a leak, you'd go get a hammer, you go get a patch kit.
Or buy a roofer. You know,
You, this is no different.
right.
These are tools. My mother asked me one time, she said, Linda, you were all dressed up. I had to go to a meeting that day. And I said, yeah. She's like, why are you all dressed? I said, I had a meeting today. She said, aren't you normally in boots and, blue jeans? And I said, yes. And she said something to me, and I looked at her and I said, it's just a tool.
Yeah.
I said, it's like going to my toolbox and getting a tool out. It's a dress, or I'm dressed up because it's a tool. I had to go do something that day. I equate it to a tool. I pull out whatever I need that day to make that day work, whatever I'm
Oh, yeah.
working on.
Absolutely.
And right. And I think that every woman, you're going to run up against some hard times somewhere, whether you've got a husband or not, or you have a significant other.
Right.
You're going to run into whatever.
A
So you
spouse.
kind of have to, yeah. Yes, thank you. You got to dig into whatever you have, um, and figure out what it takes to make that work for that day. Could be a hammer, could be a dress. It might be a muzzle. Who knows? Oh,
Ooh, needed that for that last word. All right, we've been talking a long time. We had ghost stories. That was kind of fun. And this is good. So seriously, when what you said, if there are people out there watching this podcast, hearing us, even if it's, long after this has been published, and you need help, we can help you find those tools. We can help you solve your problems. We can't give you money because we don't have any, but we'd be happy to lend you some assistance as far as finding out where to go
information.
where to go to help for
Information.
help. You bet. Yep.
Yeah.
So guys,
Information is a lot.
information is more than a tool. It's necessary. Information. If you
Yeah.
got information, you've got everything. You
That's
just
right.
do. Yep. All right. So be fearless, be curious, be mischievous because it's Halloween. Do you have any last words there, Linda?
Nope.
Nothing.
Have a spooky good time.
Spooky good time. So I do believe we have learned how to chase off ghosts or at least hear them, right? Maybe. At nothing else, we've kind of chased away our fears tonight, or at least
That's enough for me.
brought them into the daylight so they aren't as scary. How about that? Ooh, that's another one. That's another good one. I'm telling you.
Knock it out tonight, girl. You keep it up.
So, guys, if you liked what you heard tonight or today, whenever you're listening to this week's podcast, if you liked what you heard, please leave a review. Reviews help us to continue to create the content that you enjoy. So please leave us a review. Also, comment and send us all the stuff that you want to send us. We also have an email address if you'd like to be on the show. If you have a great idea for an episode, give us a shout. The email address is 2s2qshow@gmail.com. 2s2qshow@gmail.com. Let's see what else. Yeah, so leave a comment, smash that like button, hit the notification bell on YouTube. On Apple, leave us a review. On Spotify, leave us a comment. We would love to hear from everyone, and we really, really thank you all for joining us tonight. So thanks, guys. Ciao.
Thank you. Out.